Hello, everyone, and welcome to Authentic Now Yoga, the online yoga studio for anybody and everybody. My name is Jody Pignole, and today we're going to have a yin style class, which is more we slow down, we spend time. Super valuable to have that opportunity to really spend time in a posture and get to witness what happens in our bodies. What's the situation now? And then if we stay there for a lot longer, then what happens? It's a beautiful gift to give to our bodies because they get to take time to release. It's a beautiful gift to give to our nervous system because it slows us way down, which we don't often take the time to do. So I'm super excited about this class. It is counteracting the COVID curve, which I'm going to imagine that you at least are familiar with it on some level. Maybe you've caught your reflection in the mirror and went, oh no, oh no, I got to stand up straight. Too much time on the couch, on your phone, on your computer. So let's straighten out this stay-at-home slump through the beautiful practice of yin. So normally I have my meditation piece in a seated pose, but today we're going to have it on our backs and just take that time to reconnect with ourselves, slow down, tune into the body and the breath. All right, so let's find ourselves on our backs. And you can have your knees bent with the knees falling into each other. It's called the constructive rest position. And just rest your hands on your belly. And we'll stay here for a few minutes. You get to use the opportunity again to become more mindful, become more present and connected with your body. And take a little inventory, see what's happening now. And at the same time, we're going to give our spine the opportunity to just melt with gravity down to the mat. Your eyes can be open or closed, whatever's most comfortable. If there's anything that really feels uncomfortable, feel free to move if you need to. And also as you're noticing things, we're just noticing, we're not judging. There's nothing wrong with your body the way it is right now. All right, with your next few breath cycles, just allow them to be nice and full, watching the whole process, the whole cycle. Feel that breath enlivening your being. Nice. Then we're just going to gently bring the knees in towards the chest. We're not going to yank them up there. We're simply easing them there, and we'll let gravity do the rest. In whatever form that looks like. If your knees really can't come that close, you can just hold behind the thighs. Anything that's going to change that alignment in your back, change the angle of your pelvis. Let's just stay here for another 40 seconds or so. Okay, just a couple deep breath cycles. We're going to transition. Nice. And then let's reach through, grab the ankles. See if you can get the bottoms of the feet together. If not, don't worry about it. We're just trying to widen the knees. You can let the feet relax. Again, it can take whatever form it needs to take for your body right now. Doesn't need to look like me. And just track. Can you slowly create any more opening, any more softness? And sometimes it's not the places that you think are going to be giving you resistance or tension. I just noticed my jaw was tight. All right, gently release the ankles, bring the knees back up. We're just going to take our hands on top of the knees and make a circle, well, more than one circle, with the knees together at the same time. Just pick a direction. And just notice what happens in your lower back and your pelvis. And then let's switch directions. Nice. All right, we're going to bring our feet back to the mat. You can rest the knees in again. We're going to take our arms at cactus pose or goal post. You can imagine what that looks like. Your elbows are reaching out from your shoulders. Your fingers are facing the wall behind your head. Nice. And just let that settle in. Notice the impact that has on your spine, if any. You can will a little softness into your pecs. Another 20 seconds. All right, so we're going to slide our arms along the floor, bringing our fingertips towards each other. It's okay if your arm doesn't stay in contact with the floor. Just try and keep it in alignment with the floor. And then we'll slowly slide them so that the elbows now are moving towards the ribs. Nice. Take a few more rounds of that. Just nice and slow. Trying to keep the contact with the floor as best you can. Try not to torque your spine in order to make that happen. Just do what you can do. Nice. And when you're finished with your rounds, just bring your elbows back to goalpost arms, and then we'll release the arms back up. And then we're going to take a little bit of time to tilt the pelvis forward and back. So this time, lift your lower back off the mat while you're sticking your tailbone down into the mat. And then let's reverse that. So we'll bring the lower back down into the mat, curl that tailbone under so it's sort of lifting that bottom part of your pelvis. Yeah, all right, just do 2 more mindful rounds, shifting and rocking the pelvis, feeling the impact, feeling the restriction if there is any. We're just noticing, that's all. Nice. All right, so when you're finished, we're just going to simply roll over onto our side. And then push yourselves up gently. So we're going to find a child's pose. And I just want to show you a couple modifications that you might need if child's pose is tough on your body. So if it's hard on your ankles to be that compressed, you can take a blanket underneath. So I have a little bit more of a bend in my ankle. If it's hard on your knees, you can put something under your knees, and you can also put something behind your knees, such as a blanket, towel, whatever you have, cushion. Another possibility is bringing yourself onto a bolster. Or bringing your forehead to a block. So find that. We're going to stay here for a little while, so you might want to pause and just find what is the position that's going to work best for you. If none of this is going to work, you can go back onto your back and hug your knees in. That is a reclined child's pose, essentially. So all we're going to do is find our child's pose. The arms can be behind you by your side, or they can be out in front. And just nice and easy. Rest the forehead down. Head is facing down, so your neck is in alignment. And we'll just stay here for a few minutes. Always feel free to take the time to adjust if you need to adjust, if something's uncomfortable, if you're losing circulation, or if there's any pain. Otherwise, just enjoy what's happening or notice. The spine can lengthen, the hips can soften. The mind can relax. We'll take another 30 seconds, but with that 30 seconds, just reach your arms out in front and get a little extra length. Nice. All right, we're going to lift ourselves up just a little bit, lengthen a little more, and we're going to walk our hands over to one side. It doesn't matter which side, just pick one. And with that open side, just going to feel that hip reaching back away from the fingertips. And you can rest your head on your other arm if you need to. You can rest that forearm of the other arm down. Whatever's going to work. We'll stay here just for about a minute. You can send some breath into any place that you notice is tight. Just imagine your breath is going there and softening. Nice, and just take one deep, full breath. And then we'll walk our fingers back forward. Just take one little moment to lengthen and wiggle, and then we'll walk our hands over to the other side. Same thing, just opening up, lengthening along that whole side body. Resting the other arm down at the mat. Let's take another few seconds to breathe deeply. Excellent. All right, let's bring our hands back and then walk ourselves back up. We're going to come to seated at the wall. So you might need to pause and get yourself up to a wall. We're going to bring our lower back and our mid back and our head up against the wall. If you need something to sit on because you have a tight pelvis, grab your blanket or your bolster. Otherwise, well, I'm going to show you a couple different possibilities depending on your range of motion and your body. So the feet can be close together. They can be far apart. They can be close inward. They can be far away from you. So any of those combination, just find your preferred or whatever feels comfortable in a position that you can sustain for a while. So we'll stay here for about 3 minutes. And again, you can always feel comfortable or feel free to move if you need to rest your hands in a different position. The main thing is that I really want your back to be feeling the wall behind you. And so the hands can rest on the knees or by your side, whatever works, and shift that up if you need to. And you can shift your feet. So this is called royal pose. And we'll stay here for a few minutes. And it's nice to close your eyes to get if that works for you. It doesn't work for everybody, but just to kind of get your inner sight tracking what's happening in your body. Knowing there's an end in sight can help with some kinds of discomfort Breathing into complaining places also works. Or shift if you need to shift. I like to say that my yoga classes are no suffering zones. Say another 20 seconds. You can start to let your breath deepen. Nice. All right, we're just going to extend our legs out front. If this is too extreme and you're not sitting on something, go ahead and sit on something again, or just have them be bent a little bit. You can wiggle. We're just going to get a little more circulation going in there. We'll stay here for about 40 more seconds. It's nice and gentle breath. Sinking in, settling in. Excellent. Okay, we're going to come back on our hands and knees. So if you need your blanket under your knees, this is a good time to get that. We're going to find ourselves in a puppy pose. So first find your knees underneath your hips. And then we're going to walk our hands forward and create a nice little line from our hips, which are staying over our knees, to our hands. So the temptation might be to just collapse down to the mat. But first, let's just find some length here. So the pose is happening with the extension, not necessarily the flexion or the hyper extension. If this is hard on your shoulder, feel free to come down to your forearms. Otherwise, just reach those sit bones back. Plant those wide, spread palm fingers. And breathe. Nice. All right, one more full breath cycle. Feel that length. And then we'll bring the forearms down if you haven't already. And you can let a little more softness happen in your back. Just let it sink. If the chest or the chin can come to the mat, go ahead. Let's take another 30 seconds. If that works for your body, if not, come out sooner. Beautiful. All right, inhale, lengthen. Bring yourselves back up. So we're going to come back to the mat, but we're going to use a little prop here. Your blanket or your towel. Let's make a nice little roll like this. And we're going to bring that right under, kind of right where a bra line would be. There we go. And just let that relax. If that's too extreme, you can take your blanket and just unroll a little bit and make it a wider, less deep roll. So your knees can be in towards each other. You can cross your legs. You can bring the bottoms of the feet together, or you can have them out, stretched out. Just play around with what feels most comfortable, something that you can sustain. If you are going to cross your legs, at about halfway, we'll switch whichever leg is on top. You can let your arms fall out to the side too, palms up if you'd like. Just trying to come to some softness, some sense of relaxation. We'll stay here for another couple minutes. If it's working for your back but it's too extreme on your neck, you can put something underneath your head, just a little bit. If you had your legs crossed, just switch and bring the other one on top. Let the breath continue to flow smoothly. Encouraging your body to release and let go. Let's take 3 nice, deep, full breaths. Yeah, breathe into all those places that might have stiffened up a little. Start to bring yourselves out. Nice and gently, you can just roll to your side. Awesome. Okay, so into Shavasana, and I want to just give you a couple options for how you might want to practice Shavasana after this class. So the tried and true corpse pose, flat on your back, is of course available. It's really lovely for your spine. If that's too extreme, putting something behind your knees will help with if you have tightness in your hips or your lower back. Another possibility is taking your blanket or your bolster or cushion and laying down on that. Actually, let's give it a couple layers. And this way, the shoulders can open. And again, the knees can be bent. Cross your legs, straighten your legs, whatever feels comfortable. And once you find your position, I'll be quiet for a while. Just stay present. If you need something to keep you warm, feel free to put a blanket on yourselves. Shavasana is most effective when you're not distracted by being cold or uncomfortable. And it's nice to just stay present with yourself, with your body, rather than thinking about what's for dinner. As much as you can. I mean, that's hard for people sometimes, and there are no expectations here. You do what you can do. Let's take a few nice full breath cycles again. Connecting with the breath. And then send some breath into your spine. Just imagine it healthy, lengthening in alignment. Well, maybe it's glowing. It's so vibrant. And happy to have been given the opportunity to get some space back into it. Nice. And any of these things you can do anytime you notice that your posture is less than ideal. All right, let's start to bring our bodies back into movement. Stretching, yawning, whatever feels good and right for you. And then just roll yourself gently. We'll meet back up at a seated position, which is likely going to feel a lot nicer and taller. Let's just take one more breath cycle or two. Just check in. How does your spine feel? Nice. And is there anything else you want to celebrate or take with you into your day? Nice. Namaste. Thank you so much for bringing your slumping spine to our class today. And if you like what you hear, please consider subscribing and becoming a part of our community. Have a wonderful day.